Okay. Here's me just a second. All right. So great Monday to you. So glad you guys are tuning in. So welcome back. We took a little break last week. And so we did not have our weekly nugget live last week, but we are back in action this week. So we have made it another week, guys, and it is Monday, May 24th, 21. So so glad you can tune in, take this time to get our weekly nugget of wisdom to help carry us, you know, that little piece we can take away with us and help us throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our journey to purpose. So if you're tuning in and you don't know me, I am Tasha, and I'm so glad that you could join us. So tonight, if you guys saw the little snippet video that I think I posted yesterday, I kind of gave a prelude to what we're going to talk about, but it was something that I'm really just got really excited about because I think it's something that we need to discuss. And we probably all have experienced it or gone through it and didn't know maybe didn't know that this is how we were responding, behaving, or that we can testify. We have a story we can identify from being from victim to victor. All right, so we're talking about from victim to victor. All right, and you know, this is, I mean, this is a lot. It's a big topic. You know, it can be a lot that goes into this. And I thought about really, as I always tell you guys, that what I talk about is coming from my own experiences and what I've, you know, gone through and things. And so, you know, I think a good topic and a good way to coin some of the things and spaces and seasons in my life can be from victim to victor. Okay, I can't really talk about anything if I haven't been through it, if I don't know about it. And I want to definitely, I'm sorry guys, share that with you. All right, so when I thought about that from victim to victor, what are we talking about? Well, we start off with a simple definition of a victim. All right, so I'm sure you guys might know. If you want to, definitely you guys talk back to me. You know, that's how we, you help me really, but this is interactive too. But a victim, one that is injured, destroyed, or sacrificed under any various conditions, one that is subjected to oppression, hardship, or mistreatment. Okay. Another definition is a person who is tricked or duped. So, just by that, have you maybe fallen victim to something or someone or a situation? A person who is tricked or duped, one that is injured, destroyed, or sacrificed under various conditions, one that is subjected to oppression, hardship, or mistreatment. Can anybody identify with any of those? Because I can say I can identify with a lot. All right. Victim. All right. So, you know, there are things that we go through and we experience in life that we didn't ask for, that we didn't know, that we didn't have any control over. There could be things that were done directly to us, whether it was intentionally, on purpose or by accident. But we fell victim to it. We were we were the result. We were in the way, or we the ones that it happened to. We Whether we ask for it or not. And we can be upset about the things that happen to us. And don't get me wrong, life experiences and struggles and opportunities and oppression and injury and being tricked or duped are serious issues. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing any of it. But the key point of tonight's nugget is to talk about being at that point and acknowledging it, but not staying there. The key goal is to get to be the victor, to overcome, to be victorious. And so a lot of times when we deal with serious issues, we deal with serious things that have happened to us. We can be a product of our circumstance, our situation. Maybe we grew up poor. Maybe we didn't have a lot of things that we were afforded. We had hard situations. Maybe we grew up in adverse conditions. Maybe we grew up or maybe we were subject to abuse and mistreatment, neglect. I mean, there are a lot of things that we can be have fallen victim to. Maybe been one that I experienced even, hardship with, being in accidents or being hurt, being a victim of fraud and abuse, victim of so many different things, right? So many different situations and circumstances. And it can be a hard thing to navigate through that situation. Why am I going through this? Why did this happen to me? Have you guys asked yourself that? Like, why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? I mean, I can't seem to catch a break, especially if maybe you've experienced multiple things and maybe they've happened back to back to back. Or there's just maybe the season in life that it seems that there's just all of these things that continuously have occurred or happened to you. And it may not be because you were doing anything and being irresponsible or doing the wrong thing or making poor choices, but there were things that were out of your control that still happened to you. What do you do when you are the victim, when you try to do all that you know how or done your best or stay in your lane and do right, but then this still happens? There's still something that happens to you. I get it. You can feel frustrated and mad and angry. You want to maybe seek revenge. There's a fear, of moments of fear, anxiety and worry, all of these different things that can come along because you have fallen victim and become a victim to your situation. So even in that, it can be easy in your mind because we talk about a lot that what we do, what we say, what we do, how we respond, it starts in our mind. It starts with what we're thinking. And so I understand that even when you face some difficult hardships and situations, and you at this point where you seem that you're at your wits' end, and that there's nowhere to go, you can't trust anyone. Maybe the person you trusted was and you thought that you can trust was ones that were closest to you, and you fell victim to their scheme, you fell victim to their tricks, and you fell victim to the manipulation and the abuse. But I want to let you know that even in all of that, there is a way for you to overcome, to be victorious. Now let's talk about what is sometimes that victim mentality. So briefly, some symptoms of victim mentality. Now talk back to me and maybe have that little self-check. Have you experienced some of these symptoms of victim mentality, feeling powerless and helpless? All right. Dwelling on negativity, generating self-abuse, talking down to yourself, thinking poorly of yourself, acting poorly towards yourself, maybe even self-harm. Remaining stuck in the past, remaining stuck in the past, blaming the world, being consumed by your problems, and feeling cheated. Now, these are common symptoms known of the victim mentality. Have you been there? Can you identify one or two of those? I can tell you that I've felt all of them. I can identify with every last single one of them. And it may not have been that I knew and coined it as I'm in the victim mentality. Sometimes you don't even know that that's where you are, and that's the stage in life or the mindset that you're in. But that's the victim mentality. So how do you move past that? What do you do, right? Well, in order for us to get to a place of victor, we have to break free and denounce and to walk away and come out of agreement with all of those things that I just named. So how do you break free from the victim mentality? One, take ownership and responsibility. I use this term and say these words a lot, especially at home, as accountability and responsibility. I say those words often because a lot of times it can be easy to push the blame, push that responsibility off to someone else, or to another situation or whatever it might be. But we're not taking accountability. We're not holding ourselves responsible. And yes, granted, the situation may not have been your fault. You may not have asked for it. And you can't control what someone did, said, or what happened to you, but you can control how you respond. You can control what you do from this point forward. And so, yes, I may have gone through this, but that doesn't mean I have to stay there. So, taking ownership and accountability, stop blaming. That goes along with it. Become more aware of the root of your sense of powerlessness. Practice saying no. That's huge. Practice saying no. I can tell you I'm still working on that, but definitely improve. Practice saying no. Be kind to yourself. Oh, that's huge. Be kind. I posted probably last week or so about show yourself a little bit more love, a little bit more grace, and a little bit more patience. We have to do that. That's how you break free. Turn your focus into helping others. I can tell you that's a huge one because when I put my energy into helping someone else, then that gets me out of my own mind and gets me off of my own situation and problems, right? And a key one that we talk about as well a lot is practicing gratitude. Be grateful, be thankful. Practice gratitude, okay? And so that's how you break free out of that victim mentality so that you can what? Become the victor. So let's talk about what is the word victor. What does that mean? Well, it's a person who defeats an enemy or an opponent. It's a person who defeats an enemy or an opponent. So your enemy or an opponent can be a person, place, thing, or situation. Okay. What you have maybe fallen victim to and been, experienced and have experienced, you can now be the victor over it. Fill in the blank. There's a key story that as I was thinking about this, biblically that is one of my favorite stories. There are so many different themes and so many different takeaways you can gain from it. And it is the story of Joseph. And so, if you guys know anything about Joseph, I will tell you it starts in Genesis 37 and it goes like to like Genesis 42, maybe. But his story starts out as, he's his father's favorite because he is the child of his father's beloved wife that whom he loved. And so Joseph didn't have any control over that. He didn't ask to be born, but he was his favorite, right? The father, Jacob, gives him this coat of many colors. Now, Joseph has all of these older brothers, and they are jealous of Joseph because he gets the favoritism. He gets the special treatment. They knew that he was the apple of their father's eye. To add to that, Joseph was having dreams. And Joseph would tell his family, his brothers, his father about the dreams that he was having. And a lot of them were about him, like his family, and those basically interpreting that they would serve him, they would bow to him. And it was a foreshadow of what was to come down the road. Now, they already don't like him. They already can't stand him. And then he adds insult to injury and he tells them, hey, I'm having all these dreams and this is what's going to happen. And it created even more tension and all this animosity. Well, the brothers decide to go. They had to go on a journey and a trip, and Joseph had to go. Now, the brothers decide to plot and scheme, and they said, let's kill him. Well, one brother said, no, let's not kill him, but they decide to throw him in a pit. They end up selling him into slavery, and then they lied to their father and told him, they took animal's blood and said, oh, he was, eaten up by a wild animal and he's surely gone. All because they couldn't stand him. Now, Joseph did not ask for any of this. Joseph was being Joseph. He thought that the experience of what he was having, the dreams that he was having, that he could share it with his family because his family would surely understand. His family loves him. Or, they're close to me. They understand I can share this with them. Sometimes, guys, and maybe you've experienced that, sometimes the ones that are closest to us, even a family and even friends, can be the ones we fall victim to, can be the ones that we think we can trust and we think that will be there to support us and be in our corner, and they are not the ones. They are actually the ones who may be plotting injury or harm to try to destroy us, to dupe us, to trick us. Joseph didn't know that. And then to be out there, with people who he thought he could trust, who thought, was with him and by his side, and then bam, they sell him into slavery. So even from there, Joseph's story continues where he's not just hit with that. Now he's been betrayed, he's been left, he's all by himself, and he's in a different and a foreign land. Who he thought and everything that was around him that was comfortable and what he knew is no longer. Now what do you do? Now what am I supposed to do? I'm sure Joseph maybe experienced a lot of these ideas and thoughts, that victim mentality at some point, but he didn't stay there. It's so amazing that even in the hardship in which he dealt with and which he was faced with, first being betrayed by his family, that he still continued. Now, it would have been easy for him to, turn all of what he experienced with them and have hatred, to just completely be the opposite. I believe that Joseph knew that there was purpose and a call for his life. Now, he knew that it understood it because by the dreams that he was having, God was already dealing with him. Now, he had to stay focused on what his purpose was. If he allowed what happened to him and how he was treated wrong and treated badly happen and let that internalize within him, and then he retaliate, then he would not have been able to fulfill the call and the purpose on his life. And I want to tell you, by you stand in the victim mentality, by you stand stuck as a victim, you are robbing yourself of your purpose. You are robbing yourself of your purpose. You're robbing yourself of victory. You're robbing yourself of overcoming. When you stay in the mindset of victim, you are robbing yourself. That there is more and greater beyond that situation. Now, it goes even further and beyond, even with Joseph. Joseph, he had so much that happened to him. Now, that wasn't the only thing that he experienced. He went from first being betrayed by his family and all of that and being sold, and now he finds favor. And then, he becomes, one of the just lost my thought. In Potiphar's house. So he is like one of the top, the right-hand man. Now, he's there, and here comes another betrayal. Here comes another trick. Here comes another thing that's seeking to destroy him. So Potiphar's wife, Joseph is handsome, Joseph looks good, and Potiphar's wife says, yeah, come here. She wanted him. And because Joseph had integrity, because Joseph was focused, he knew that wasn't the right thing to do, and he fled. Well, Potiphar's wife was not honest. She decides to lie and deceive, and she says that basically Joseph tried to rape her. And it's not true, of course. So now Joseph is in another situation where he's been yet again betrayed. He's fallen victim to something, dishonesty, mistrust, all of that, right? He didn't ask for that. He's trying to do right, but yet he's fallen again. Now, Joseph is thrown into jail. It's amazing that even in all of that, I'm sure it's like, here's another blow. Here's something else that's happening. And when am I going to catch a break? I've already had this happen to me, by my family. I thought I was good here and I'm getting somewhere. And now, boom, here's this again. Again, what I thought was security, what I thought was okay, who I thought I could trust. And now it's being ripped and stripped from me yet again. So we fast forward in the story with Joseph. I encourage you guys to read it because there's so much in it, and there's so many different sections to the story. If we fast forward, remember the dreams that I told you that he had in the beginning and he shared with his brothers. He was still having dreams when he was in prison, and that allowed him to actually be the reason as to how he got out. But when he comes out, Joseph is now one of the top, again, leaders in the land. Okay, so much for that there ended up being famine in the land, and there was no food. It was hard, people are starving and everything else. And here comes the brother seeking to try to find and ask for food and rations so that their family could survive. Now, his brother did not recognize him, but Joseph knew who he was. Joseph could have sought to kill him, could have been evil, could have said, nope, I'm not going to help you. But you know what he did? He sent for his family. and he revealed himself to them. And you know what? I think they were pretty surprised that their brother, who they knew they did wrong, who they despised, who they tricked, who they duped, who they tried to destroy, who they injured, was now the one that was coming to save them. It brought back to their mind the dreams that he told them and that they didn't want to believe. Now he truly was the one to be able to save them and to help them. Joseph couldn't have done that if he stayed in the mind frame of being a victim. There was so much greater purpose in his life. And even in your experiences, can I tell you something? I know it probably doesn't seem like it. I get it. Oh, if I could only tell you, I totally get it. But can I tell you that your experiences, even in those situations, there's still something greater that comes out of that. It is. I know you don't see it. I know you can't make heads or tails from it, but can I share with you that there's still purpose that can come from even your darkest, bleakest, toughest situation. You can become the victor. So my prayer, my hope with this nugget tonight is that you think back and evaluate even now where you are. And if you maybe have the mindset and the mind frame currently of being the victim, having the victim mentality, that you realize that it's not serving you. Are you accomplishing your goals? Are you moving forward? Because if you're in the victim mindset, you're stuck. You're still living in the past. You're still pointing the finger at someone else. I'm not saying whoever or whatever happened, that there should not be accountability or responsibility for those actions of others. But you can't consume yourself so much that you begin to die, that your purpose begins to die, that what God has called for you begins to die because you're stuck on something that you cannot control. You can't control you. You can't control your mind. You can't control your actions. You can't control what you speak. As we talked about, even shared a few days ago, that life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay? So I want to encourage you that you can be the victor. You can go from being the victim to the victor. You can. It's possible. I can tell you, I am a witness. You can be the victim, but are you ready to move to being the victor? Are you tired of feeling sorry and down and depressed? And I know it seems that it's hard to come out of it. I understand. I know that it seems that you're stuck and your wheels are turning and that it's hard to move from because, but they did this to me, but this happened. How can I go on? I have to tell you, you got to pick up and move, and you have to decide to live. When I say live, I talk about all the time, one of the things we mention all the time is live in purpose, live on purpose, right? Live in the now. Live now, not from behind, not from yesterday, but live in the now. Live in your present so that you can get to your purpose. So that is my hope, and that is my prayer for you, and my desire for you, because not too long ago, I too was struggling. I was too sitting in a room crying, not sure of what to do, thought it was over for me. then see how I could get to just even some semblance of normalcy. Would I be able to ever feel normal again? Would my life go back to the way that it was? Let me tell you something. It can be so easy to want to stay where you've been because it's easy and it's comfortable. And I did that for a very long time. And that ate away on the inside of me. All right. And so much so that even when I was feeling that way, and I knew that there was a problem or an issue, it seemed easier to stay where you are. I know it seems easier to just stay with that mindset or stay in that situation or stay stuck. But if you have to crawl your way, inch your way out, I want you to do it because you will regain your life. You will regain your strength, little bit by little bit, step by step. And you'll be able to then see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you stay buried deep in the dark and the abyss and the depression and the oppression and the victim mentality, you will never see the light of day. You will never see the other side. You will never see victory. And it's there. It's there. And I know that once you make that move, one step, two, three, when you get to the other side, when you get to that freedom, it's an amazing feeling. And you'll never want to go back. You can always keep moving forward. And even when the other challenges and things that come and face you and that you deal with in life, you'll be able to handle it better, because you know why? You'll be determined not to stay stuck in it, but you'll be able to take the life lessons from it and let that help you along your path to purpose. That's what it's all about. All right. So my prayer tonight is for those who are stuck in the victim mindset. Yes, it happened. Yes, I know it hurts. But I pray for the courage to step away, to come out of agreement with, to be released and free from the victim mentality. I know, God, that there are things that we can't control. And yes, it hurt us. We're distraught. We don't know where to turn. We don't know who we can trust. And it seems that we cannot move out of what we've been stuck in for so long. But God, we know that with you, all things are possible. And so we're relying on you, God, to help us. That in this time we allow this nugget to resonate within our spirit, so that whoever hears this now or later down the road, that they realize that they do not have to remain the victim, but they can be victorious, that they can move from victim to victor. They can overcome, not just for their own sake, but they can overcome so that they can help somebody else. So I come in agreement with you that although you might be afraid, you may be unsure, you may not know all the steps and what to do, I release to you that courage, that faith, that strength, so that you can move to victory. That is my prayer for you on tonight, in Jesus' name. Guys, I hope that this was something that encouraged you, because you know why? Sometimes we're going to go through things, and as long as we're living this life, we're going to have challenges and obstacles and circumstances. And so maybe you don't find it where it's maybe relevant exactly now, but tuck it away because you might need it a little bit later. All right. So I want you to move from that victim to the victor, and you can do it. Hey, I went through what I went through, so I could be here on this day at this time to tell you that I was once the victim and now I am the victor. All right. So remember, leave your past, live in purpose, live on purpose, and live in the now. Live now, live today, so that you can move and walk and live in purpose. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support and this community, and you guys being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting, all of that. I do appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you are along this journey with us. If you guys have not joined the Nuggets of Wisdom Facebook group, be sure to do that. We love to have you be a part of a community of people to encourage each other as we move along to our path and purpose. All right. So until next week, we hope to be back here again Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in. And so we'll see you next week. All right. So until then, take care, guys. Have a great, awesome, wonderful, fabulous week. Get ready for great things that are coming. I hope you're excited because I am. That there are great things that are already happening and there's greater things to come. So I can't wait for you to tell it. I can't wait for you to share it because I'm waiting to hear from you. But until then, we will see you next week. Love you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you soon.